It's let me see. Not yet, not yet. Dude, it's hella cold, man.
Telling me, man.
Fuck. I gotta do it outside because inside kids are watching.
Let me
Kids are
see. Not
watching.
yet, not yet.
Hell yeah, we are live, baby. Dude. So the live is a little bit delayed, but
No, it's all good.
anyways, guys, we are here with the famous Little B. I am so happy to be chatting with my little brother here. And for me, outside, we were just talking about how cold it is for me. But Little B, I think you are inside the room. You got a little green screen going on back there, huh?
I know it's not complete yet. I still have to like put it up all the way.
Stream your Twitch, your games. So, anyways, guys, if you don't know, now you know. This is Little B, the world famous locking champion. But you know, if you didn't know, you know, I knew Little B way back. I don't know when, but actually, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna turn it over to Little B. I'm gonna ask you real quick. When did we first meet, or how did we first meet?
Oh man. So even before dancing with you, I met you through Shy Guy, or Jihan as they call him. It's before he moved back from Cal Poly, and he was doing his hip hop thing with them, and he performed at your event. I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, the first one we did, I think it was called Next Chapter.
Yeah. I think it might have been the second one.
No, next episode.
Next episode. Yeah, you did like a routine with like Bionic and like Nikolai, and then like that's my first time seeing all you guys. I remember like I was just there to support John, and then we saw you and your teams perform, and I was just like, this is amazing. I remember shaking your hand afterwards. I was like, holy shit, he shook my hand. And then like a following year later, John started teaching me locking, and then I auditioned for DSP the year that around that Christmas afterwards. So it was like 2006 or something, 2007.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. It's been a minute.
Yeah, dude. Now, for those that don't know, though, can you educate everybody on the DDR world?
Oh man, yeah. So I came from doing Dance Dance Revolution when I was a teenager, like a freshman in high school, and if you guys know Dance Dance Revolution, it's the rhythm game, probably one of the first arcade rhythm games where you have to hit arrows on the floor in time with the music. And I did that for 4 or 5 years. I was known as a freestyler on there. Like I wasn't a good dancer, but I didn't just stand there hitting the arrows. I'd move around and like just do a couple of moves, perform for the crowd. So when I started learning locking, it was kind of like it just kind of made sense to me, right? And I also worked on DDR, like making the step charts, like the arrows that you step on, the rhythms that you would step on, and that also helped when I got into locking. So it is a funny balance of like that's how I understand rhythm and genres of music and timing. Yeah.
The next time we do this, I need a pull up a clip of you.
Oh yeah, we could definitely do that.
Of way back when. We talked earlier before we actually got on the Zoom. Little B and I we talked earlier. We said we want to try to make this more of a weekly thing. So we're not going to try to make this too long. We basically have a cap of maybe 15 minutes. We're going to try to keep this short. However, I do want to ask Little B one important question though. It's of all the years that you've performed and competed and all that stuff. Let's start with this. All right. Can you share real quick? And I know I'm putting him on the spot.
That's all good.
One of your most embarrassing moment, if you remember.
Oh man, embarrassing moments, like just like while dancing in general.
Yeah, whatever it could be, whether it's either on stage or afterwards or whatever.
Oh man. Okay, so I guess performance wise, because it's with you and it was with DSP. That's the crew that me and Cesar are on. There was one performance. It probably had to be like 2008, 2009, and I remember a lot of us weren't super prepared for this performance, and we even had like a thing where like once you mess up, because it was like a 7-minute routine, right? And like once you mess up, just go to the back and just start two-stepping because we can't have you there. And I was like the first one that was just like, I'm gonna take that card and go. And I remember Roland, he saw me, he was like, wait, you I messed up too now. And then we're just both back there just two-stepping while everyone else is doing the routine.
I
And
don't
then
remember that. For real?
yeah, you for real. And then that was one of the ones where like, because you had that rule in place, it was like when we go out, you take a shot for every time you messed up.
Oh, yes.
so so I don't remember too much after that. I just remember the messing up part. And, it's embarrassing because I remember being the first one and pulling people into the line with me on accident. Um, Man, like I actually have a ton of those type of questions or type of answers now that I think
That's
about it.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
We'll definitely try to revisit more of those.
Yeah.
But another one, actually, more on the same line. Now we're talking about embarrassing moment. What about one of the more proudest moment that you have throughout your dance career so far?
So far. So one from just like I guess the Hollywood or making it on TV thing was
Mm,
being on So You Think You Can Dance.
right. Ooh,
Making
ooh. Maybe in the future, let's see if we
yeah,
can do a clip or even a photo of
yeah,
that.
and I'd love to like go deeper into that, but like I just say that was one of my proudest moments because it was just an amazing opportunity to be recognized, even just a little bit. I didn't make it very far, but I think for what I was recognized for and by whom, especially
Yeah.
from like the judges, it was really dope.
Yeah.
Um,
Who you remember who was judging at the time?
um, Shoot, so Paula Abdul,
Oh, okay, Paula was still on, huh?
yeah, Jason Derulo, and it's the one who's always there. I'm sorry, can't.
Oh, the older guy.
Yeah. The main dude. Yeah, I can't remember his name right now.
Is it Pierre or
Pierce. That sounds about right. I'm not sure
okay,
actually, but
whatever?
yeah, the main
Okay,
ones.
we know who he is, the older British guy.
Yeah. So like that's the going to Hollywood, try to make it type of story that I was most proud of. And in the battle scene, it was probably doing World Dance Coliseum in Japan with my
Mhm.
brother Firelock, because one of my biggest goals when I started dancing and battling was to like make it to like a very top stage
Yeah,
and to win, kind of represent where I'm from, my teams, like everyone supported me. Like to me, that was one of the greatest places I could do it, and for me, that was just a big one. Also, because I was coming out from having a really bad injury at the time, so it just happened to, it worked out. But to
right.
me, that was I want to show the rest of the world that like America has a little something different, like it's not so prideful, like, oh yes, we're the source and what we do is right. So it's like, we it's a back and forth kind of thing, right? Like, like you and I, we were very inspired by the Japanese side of things for a
Yep.
long time. And it's
Yep.
also like, how do we take from that and give back?
Right.
Like that's that bridging of communication and inspiration. So that was a big one for me because like no one expected anything of me. I just look like everybody else over there, but then the way that I dance is very different.
Yeah. I do remember a clip of you. I don't have it pulled up, but for sure next time I want to show it. You were definitely featured on was it ABC? I
Mm,
think it was ABC or NBC. You were definitely on national TV, so that was definitely a proud moment for me as well, right?
mm.
Seeing somebody from your group on national TV, so that was awesome. Um, I want to move forward real quick though.
Yeah, for sure.
I know we're running a little bit short on time, but I want to mention this. This is more for the beginning, for the people today, okay? The
Mm,
people that are starting this, because there's so many people who always say, I wish I started earlier, right?
yeah,
So I want you to try to imagine yourself today. How old are you, by the way?
I'm 34 now.
34. Okay.
Yeah,
If at the age of 34, today we took all away your dancing ability, okay? We took all away your dancing ability, but today we have um, all the technology that you have right now with
yeah.
YouTube and everything right now. How would you get yourself back to your,
Where I'm at now.
yeah,
Well,
yeah. How would you?
what's funny is that the past year, like during all of this quarantine time, I haven't been dancing. I haven't been doing locking like pretty much at all. But I really got into gloving recently. Like I really
For
put
those
like
that don't know gloving, can you explain real quick?
gloving is like I guess I have my lights on, but like using
Yeah.
lights on fingertips to like give shows to people like pretty much
Mm,
in their face, right? A
mm,
lot of depth perception, playing with the music. It's to me it's not so different from dancing, but the reason I bring that up is because I feel like a complete noob when it comes to it. I don't really like attach my previous knowledge of dance to it right away.
Hmm.
So what I've been doing is I look up a lot of videos. It's the same thing I did when I first started dancing. I was looking up a ton of videos,
Yeah.
seeing the ones that really inspired me, and I would like watch those. You know, it wasn't just like I have hundreds to choose from. I
Right.
would watch a ton, and then there's certain ones, certain people, certain ones that gave me a certain feeling or made my mind work, and I would just watch that over and over and over
Hmm.
until it just stuck with me. Some of
Hmm.
it was just repetition through watching, and there's also repetition through mimicking,
Okay.
which is what really helped me to like understand maybe this is what this person is thinking. You know, I like to use my mind when it comes to dancing, right?
Mhm.
Like your body will learn the muscle memory if you just keep repeating. But for me, understanding what that person was thinking, what that person was feeling, like that's the one that really gets to me and helps me understand what to do. There's also just seeking out people that are maybe who can be mentors for you. I think mentors are very important,
Yeah.
someone who can like not just tell you yes you're doing good but also be like, hey, this is what you need to work on,
Right.
or that was good but maybe try this. You know,
Mm.
like that's something that you were very very good at, Ceach. And like within the gloving world right now, I don't see, or I haven't found too much of that.
Hmm.
um so it's about who's knowledgeable, but not just knowledgeable in like what the Bible of dance says to do, but someone who's like they see your growth,
Yeah.
they see what you're doing, what you're attempting, and where you want to take it, and they're going to help you get there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so with all of these resources, like you have YouTube, you have a bunch of like communities on Facebook that people talk about it, you have Reddit to look at stuff. um and the cool thing is when you see anybody posting anything, the biggest thing that they're looking for, regardless of like their talent level, is they're just looking for people to talk to.
Yeah.
You know, so if you see someone around your level or who's just starting out, or someone who's like a teacher, like
Yeah.
the big thing that they're trying to do is reach you directly,
Hmm.
right? So like the videos, the tutorials, they're like a bridge between you and that person. And honestly, use the technology just to reach out to that person.
Right.
You
Right.
know, if they can't help you, maybe they'll know someone that can, or something, you know. I think during this time, just going for communication is super important because it's all we have right now,
Right.
you know.
So let me quickly recap, right?
Yeah.
So basically, if you had no dance skills today, how you would start is YouTube or Reddit. So you would do your research, you
Mm,
would find all the videos that you like, and you'll probably narrow it down to, let's say, 5 or 10, something like that.
yeah. Yeah.
Then you would watch each one of them over and over again. Give me the idea of how many times you will watch them.
Man, I honestly, even the videos that I watched like when I first started dancing, I'll still watch them like, let's say now, probably 20, 30 times when I sit down just to watch one. You know, like
20, 30 times in,
yeah,
in one day,
in
or
one day, like one
okay,
sitting,
one day.
you know.
So if we extend that to a month, would you be watching each one of them 100 times a day for the whole month?
Probably. Yeah, if I really found the ones that like stuck with me, yeah, I'm watching those like all of the time.
This is great because a lot of people say, hey, I watch it a lot, right? So
Yeah.
as a beginner, you might think, oh, I watched it 5 times a day. In their mind, 5 times is a lot, but compare 5 to a few hundred a times a day. 5 is nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'll tell you,
Oh,
like a part of it too is watching it and being frustrated with yourself.
yeah.
Like when I started learning locking, I would be like I'm learning the pace, and then I watch videos of like P lock, and I'm like, why don't I look like that?
Yeah.
That is super frustrating.
Right.
But like you have respect for it even more, right? You have the respect for the talent, and you have respect for your own growth, which I
Right.
think is super important. But
Okay.
that frustration or like inspiration, whatever you feel when you watch it,
Mhm.
because you'll feel different things. You know, maybe you'll just be like, oh, now I understand that rhythm. Now I understand that move.
Yeah.
Or maybe I understand it, but my body doesn't.
Right.
Those little lessons. It's not like I just like absorb it all at once. There's
Right. Right.
like watching it with very different eyes every time.
I just want to backtrack for a quick
Yeah,
second.
yeah,
For those that are watching right now, okay, even just that alone, when Little B says, "Hey, I'll be watching it for about 100 times a day for an entire month," he's not lying. He's not just making up random numbers. If you really understand it, I think that's like worth the price of admission right now. Just be like, "Wow, that's what it takes." Okay, so if you're trying to do anything less than that, don't expect to have better results than what Little B has been doing. It's that kind of dedication to be able to
Mm,
reach to his level. Not to say everybody has to go to
right.
his level, but what we're saying is if you want to uh, reach what he has reached, you basically have to do what he's done. Okay.
Yeah, there's a very different, whatever your approach is, there's diving in deep. You know,
Right.
like you could
Right. So
like
you dove in
study
deep.
music. Yeah, you study music really hard. You could study like body physics really hard. Whatever it is, like just go so deep into it that
Mhm.
there's like the frustrations, there's like those brilliant moments of like understanding,
Mhm.
whatever it is. Mine, I'm a very visual watcher, and then I like to think about it a lot and like write or take notes or just something, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the the very first focal point is that my thing was to just watch things over and over and over.
Now the second part we mentioned is you watch it over and over, and you say you got frustrated, right? You're like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm watching P-Lock, and how do I make it look like him? First of all, how did you realize that you don't even look like him?
Uh, one was just respecting my body type,
Uh-huh.
and like that came very quickly too. Like being around you and Dennis, right? Like I love the way that you guys dance, but my tempo can't match yours because my body type is different. So that was a part of a little frustration, but turned into respect because I was like, that means I can do things that you guys can't do. Right. So that's why I say like I like to think about certain things and like
Yeah.
twist it to make it work for me.
Yeah.
Um
But like what I'm saying is, did you was it from looking in the mirror or videotaping yourself? Like how did
oh
you
yeah, yeah. Watching yourself. It could just be in the mirror if you're really good at like, you know, breaking yourself down in the moment while still maintaining your dance. And also recording yourself and watching. Like that's one of the very first things that you and John really imparted on me. Like even
Mhm.
my first week learning to dance and freestyle, like he recorded me. He had me record myself and watch myself.
Mhm.
And when I mentioned being frustrated at watching like good dancers and you compare yourself to yourself, when you watch yourself, you're gonna have a lot more frustrating moments than you will have proud moments.
Yes, yes,
But
exactly.
those proud moments, whatever you feel, maybe you'll even be proud like watching it the 100th time or
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
Those are the greatest feelings. Like don't
Yeah.
just keep chasing that good feeling.
Yeah.
We don't need to like you don't need to be like that. Just keep analyzing yourself and
Yeah.
saying like I was lucky that I had like Seach and John to say, hey, you could do this better, or like you didn't do as good today. But you need to be your own harshest critic.
Mm.
You know, and no one else is gonna be. Like no one's gonna be able to say, like, oh, I felt this way, but my body did this.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where I like to use the word frustration because I think it's a good way to be like, oh, I want to be better.
Yeah.
Not frustrated, it makes me want to quit. It's just like that's a realization that I had that no one else can tell me, and I want to improve that, you know.
Yeah, this is great. And, I think just this alone, we could probably go over for a few hours, I hate to cut it short, but I
No,
think,
no.
next time we get together, I want us to kind of get deeper into that because I get that so much, right? And you for sure as well, because you teach as well. And I think a lot of people probably go to you and say, hey, how do I exactly what we went through? How do I do it like you? I know you taught, pacing this way. I know you said to twirl this way, but I just don't do it like you. And we're giving our honest feedback on how to do it.
Yeah.
And I think another part too that you mentioned is probably surround yourself. You said get a mentor, right?
Mhm.
So how would somebody who's getting started today, how do you get a mentor? How would you get a mentor today? Especially with COVID now, right?
Yeah. Let's say that I still like watch a lot of popping videos and stuff, right? Like I'm on some of the community, like the popping community forums on Facebook. Like I haven't personally done this in gloving yet, and honestly, it's because I'm shy. Like I'm kind of nervous to be like, hey, I'm new in this community, you know. Um, and I just feel that way because I don't know if I have anything to offer yet. But if I'm in a learning position, like super student position, just ask all the questions till you're annoying. Like I honestly like someone's gonna like feel the passion from you or just want to throw out tidbits of information. I would just hit people up, you know, have a little bit of a greeting, maybe already ready. Like this is the amount of time I've been dancing. This is what I'm interested in. I liked your videos because of this and that. Maybe they talk a lot about dance, or maybe they show certain things or have good tutorials or just have a great battle video and just be like, you inspire me.
Yeah.
And honestly, as I think as any dancer would tell you, like that's kind of like why we do it. It's
Yeah.
not for like that recognition. It's because like, hey, now I can help.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be afraid to just reach out, like, and there's different avenues for whatever you feel comfortable with, right? Like maybe you can look up online classes,
Hmm.
start with that, just build the relationship of being like, I'm taking your class. You
Right.
could message someone directly, like hit them
Right.
up in the DMs. You can post on those forums, just be like, hey, I'm new, you know, where can I go? And then this is what this is too, and it's kind of what I'm telling you. Like, we could like me and Cease could definitely give you like for sure links to go to for people to hit up, right? Especially because we want to help drive like our friends teaching businesses and help
Right.
make sure that they're being taken care of. But
Yeah.
it's a bit of a balance, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little bit on the business side, just making sure money can be like exchanged in terms of services, and sometimes it's just like, yo, I just want to make a new friend. I just want to help somebody out, and you really never know. I
Yeah.
think, but sitting on your ass and not doing anything is going to get you that exact result,
Exactly.
you know. So there's a lot of different avenues. You can get up and just start dancing and then record yourself, put it up if you feel that kind of brave.
Hmm.
That's good too, because you might even inspire other people to do it too.
Yeah.
um yeah, I it's whatever works for you. There's so many different venues for it, and I say that because dance has so many different types of people, different
Yeah.
types of schedules, and what they're looking for.
That's it. That's it. Now I'm gonna switch over real quick because we mentioned, like, for people who wants to uh, start, how do they approach, mentors, and how do they approach teachers and things like that. Now let's flip on this flip side. As a teacher, as somebody who's kind of established themselves as in the dance community, um, what advice or what qualities would you look for? Okay, let's suppose this. Let's suppose you are creating your own professional dance group.
Mm,
How do you audition your dancers? Of course, yeah, you want somebody who knows how to do it. But let's talk about their qualities, their characteristics.
you're
Does it
talking
make
about if I was going to make like a crew of like,
Yeah, yeah. Who would you like to be in your group, and what kind of personality, what type of people
hmm.
you want in your in your dance group?
So personally, like I have my crew, Dance Over Styles, and what I thought about when it came to like picking and choosing people for that, and this is not even dance related, it's I know personally that this person cares about me and I care about this person. I would do so much, and I know that this person would do that for everybody
Okay.
else, right? But on the dance side, because that had to be a part of it, it was someone who expresses they just express themselves, like they show me what they're about, or they
Mm,
even show me that they understand that they're on the journey of self-discovery,
okay.
right? Like when it comes to like just crew and like we're improving each other, it's not just about like, hey, let me teach you this move, let me teach you this dance.
Mm,
It's like, how do we help each other understand what we're trying to express and how can we do that better? So it's not just like a character thing,
okay.
even though I'm all about that. It's about
Yeah.
expressiveness, and also how much you put into it yourself.
Yeah.
And someone who works really hard, it's like someone who works out a lot. When
Yeah.
you see someone else who works out, even though you don't see them working out, you know that they put in the work because you just you know. So I
Mm-hmm.
think dancers have that same thing.
Hmm.
um but like for your question, I think it really depends on what you're looking for. Like, do you want to be the teacher, and then the rest are like kind of the students, and maybe they catch up, sort of
Hmm.
thing? Or like, are we all on equal ground? Are we going to try to do performances? Are we trying to do like battles? Is it like a mix and match, and now I have to like throw my efforts into every individual differently?
Hmm.
Because everybody's different, right? Like even on DSP, some people want to do performing, some people want to do battles, some people just want to learn it for the hell of it, or
Hmm.
just be a part of something.
Okay.
um yeah, I would say it really starts with asking yourselves those type of questions, and then beyond that, it's reaching out again. It's just asking like, hey, who would be down for this?
Hmm.
And then maybe when it comes to auditioning, and I say auditioning because auditioning implies that there's a lot of interest and
Yeah.
not enough, you know, supply here. Um, when it comes to that, like I think you kind of have to have your own written rules or guidelines, maybe secretive, or you show them like, hey, I'm looking for
Mhm.
um, excellence in this category and interest in this or whatever it is. Like you can have your own set stuff set aside, or you can show them.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and honestly, also as someone who wants to be in that position, it's to really show how available you're gonna be, and that's something I'm very guilty of not doing very well enough. Right, like how available will you be for the people that you're inviting into this?
Okay.
If you're trying to create a home, how often will you be home?
Okay. Right.
Yeah, so I think that's the big part of a person in that position. Show your dedication,
Okay.
because people can only be as dedicated as you are.
Yeah. Man, these are all great, wise words of wisdom. And I just want to thank you for joining me here, joining us here with, in the forum. This is actually one of the first, sit down that I have, and the idea is for us to continue doing this. Um, Actually, let's do this. Can you just tell us what you're working on nowadays? We're all in the quarantine and stuff like that. What are you into? I mean, besides dance and stuff like that, what's new on your plate? What's next project, or what are you working on?
Man, so next project is honestly just something I've been thinking about, like what I'm gonna do now, because I just got all this new technology. Like I have the camera, the mic, so I want to stream. I'm not really sure the content yet. I play a lot of games. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 for like the past 2 months, like a work day every day. It's awesome. I freaking love it. Um, but like just like I'm talking with you, I have so much passion about these type of topics.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm the most knowledgeable, but there's so much I want to share. So that's something I want to tap into, of just being able to reach out, talk. This is good because it's direct, but also it's people get to witness it. Um, like I said, I got into gloving recently, and I want to like be
Mm.
more involved with the community,
Yeah.
get to know them a little bit better, and also just be able to do shows from home, because
Mm.
that's what people do. It's kind of neat for gloving. Um, yeah, it's interesting because I think I did need a little bit of a break from the dance community that I was so intertwined with for so long.
Right. Right.
Um, so it's nice to have like a separate place to be like, you know what, hey, no one knows me. I don't know anything. Please help me be a person that knows a little something. So it's weird, right? Like being in a position of I want to be a student, but also want to be a mentor educator.
Right. Right.
And I feel like that's a good place for me right now, because I know that those things should always be there,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. Man, it's always fun, always a pleasure to have you on, But to wrap it up, how do viewers get a hold of you? For example, if are you personally taking students? So let's say somebody's really interested in locking, right? And they want to
Yeah.
get a hold of you. How do people get a hold of you?
Well, great timing for the question, because my schedule has completely opened up recently. Um, you can hit me up at my email, lockinglittleb@gmail. I'll be streaming on Twitch. Same thing, twitch.com/lockinglittleb. Just feel free to hit me up. I'm also on Facebook if you're already friends with me. Um, I don't use my Instagram that much right now, but I'll start. I think that's a good place. I think that's where a lot of people are congregating these days.
Right, right.
Um, and I would say just kind of maybe hit me up with a little bit of introduction, or like what you're interested in talking about, because I'm honestly at this point I have no business plan when it comes to it. I just kind of want to be a helping hand, but it's I think be prepared for, if we are going to be doing some sort of mentorship, I kind of want to do it publicly,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
it maybe in a little bit of this kind of setting,
Hmm.
because I want you to be able to ask me freely, and I want to be able to speak openly,
Yeah,
like directly to you, but also knowing that this is something I'm not just saying to you.
right,
I
right.
want to be held accountable for my words and my thoughts.
That's excellent, man. So for those that are watching right now, whether you're, joining us right now or later on in the future, if there's something that you want to ask us, drop it down in the comments below. We're going to check this out. And then for future episodes, I'm definitely going to have Little B back, and then we'll go over them, you know. And if you
Yeah.
just have to catch us live, and again, this is live. So if you're with us, go ahead and, you know, drop it in the chat. We'll be able to drop in and out, see if there's anything on the chat. If there's any questions, we'll be able to take them and answer them right on the spot. Like I said at the very beginning, we're going to try to keep this in, you know, under 15 minutes. I think we failed. I think we passed that, but I know there's so much to get into. I mean, I was trying to cut as much as we can, but there's so much good nuggets in there that we definitely need to do that. So we're definitely going to have Lil B back. And, you know, between us, there's so many other dancers that I know that would love to do this. And you guys feel free to pick our brains, because as Lil B says, you know, we are here because we know the journeys that you're going to go through if you do decide to choose this path. And we know that it's a lot more fun when we're all together and sharing together. Okay. And that's what we're here for, to help you guys out. Okay. Any last words, Lil B?
No, 100%. It's exactly that. Like, what I'm here to talk about, like my stories and stuff, it's not to tell you about what went well. Maybe it's to tell you what went well eventually, but honestly, like I had a long string of running the gauntlets by myself, and I don't advise that for anybody. Sure, it made me stronger, but I would have had a lot more fun if I had people right next to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I did for some parts, but then, you know, the part where I traveled the world and all that stuff, it would have been a lot more fun.
Right. Right.
You know,
And definitely we're gonna talk more about that, you know, your traveling adventures in our future episodes.
for sure.
For
Thanks for
now,
having
we'll
me, man.
try to end it because I know we're running a little bit long.
The
So
30 minutes, you did it. That's not
we
bad.
hit 30. All right.
Yeah.
So we doubled our time, but for sure we gotta cut it off at 30. Thank you again, Lil B, and we're gonna talk to you soon. All right, guys.